Hi, in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create your own virtual camera, and you will be able to use this camera to take screenshots of basically anything you want and use that screenshot in your HUD. We are gonna do some changes here, and we are going to take a screenshot of this ball you can see here on my screen and use this image in our HUD to indicate how many balls we have left. I think that looks much better rather than just writing some text to the left. Okay, and this will be a really good and useful technique you can use in your future projects as well. Alright, so let's get started. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna delete this. So what I'm gonna do is you can open up your content blueprints actors folder. Since this is an actor, I'm gonna create it here, but I'm gonna create it in a own separate folder. I'm gonna call it virtual camera. Let's go inside of it. So we are gonna create a new actor. So it's a blueprint class. You choose actor, and I'm gonna rename it to BP virtual camera. Open this up, and before doing any changes inside of it, I'm gonna close all other tabs I have. Before doing any more changes inside of it, we need to do one more thing. We need a render target texture. So I'm gonna go to miscellaneous, and let's see, it is somewhere here. I think it was in the texture, yes, in the texture section. Choose this one, render target, and not, because you will have several types of choices here. Canvas render target, cube render target. Make sure to select this one, render target. I'm gonna name it to my RTT. And if you wonder what this is, basically whatever the camera sees, it will paint it on the my RTT texture. Okay? And then we will be able to use this texture to create our own pictures, or should I say screenshots. You will see very soon how this will work. So let's open up the camera again, the camera actor. I'm gonna add a component to it. Just type 2D. It's called Scene Capture Component 2D. Select it. And if you go down, you have something called Texture Target. This is what it should paint everything it sees on. So whatever the camera sees, it's gonna paint it onto this My RTT texture. It's a render target texture. So I'm gonna select that. And the primitive render mode, this is set to some legacy mode. I'm gonna change this to use show only list. And then it can compile and save. Really, we can just close this down for now. Compile and save. So let's drag out this actor. And we are using a so-called show only list, which means it will only paint whatever we tell it to paint. And we need to add that thing we want to paint in a so-called show only list that exists on the camera. So I'm going to paint the ball. So this means that we need to drag out that ball. So let me just find it. I think it was in the, let's see, blueprints, actors. It's not in here. Controllers, game mode, widgets. I'm gonna find that ball. I think it's in the assets. Yeah, assets, rolling ball. So we want to paint this. So I'm gonna drag this out. Select the camera. If you go to the details panel and you just pull down a little bit, select the scene capture 2D component here. And you can see that it's having something called show only actors. And remember that we just set it to show only mode, okay? Show only actors mode, or show only list in other words. And this is the list it's talking about. I'm gonna quickly show you that one more time. If you go in here, select the scene capture 2D, we have this mode set. Use show only list. Okay, therefore we can now use that list. So if you select the virtual camera, you go to the details panel and look at this. Let's see if I can find it. Primitive render mode, use show only list, and let's add something to this list. Here it says show only actors. I'm going to click the plus sign, and we have a drop down here. Select this pen, pick actor from scene, and select the ball. Now the camera will only draw the ball. So how can we really see what it's currently seeing? Well, because as of now, we can't really see anything, right? So what we can do is if you go to the assets, let's see, blueprints, actors. If you open up this texture, that's the render target texture. This is what it's currently seeing, because as I mentioned to you, it will paint whatever it sees on here. Okay, and you don't need to care about the background because we will make it transparent. So currently this is what it sees. It's only the ball object. So I'm gonna move this to place it in a really good position and as close as to the ball as possible. Okay, because I want a big picture of the ball. So let's just do this. I'm gonna drag it up a little bit, something like that. I'm gonna rotate the camera, clicking the E key. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's go up, select this ball, click the E key and rotate. I think this is a really good picture, so you have to tweak it, and check the render target texture to see if you got something that suits your needs. I think this is a really good picture. I'm gonna go a little bit closer. I think this is just perfect. We can also change the size of the texture here to 1024 and 1024. So we will get this picture. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna close this down now. So now we have a good view. So in order to take that screenshot of whatever the camera is currently seeing, what you need to do is, first off, I'm gonna click this picture, I'm gonna right click and create a static texture. Okay. Now we have a static texture, and then I'm gonna right click on this texture and create a material based on this. So you just choose create material. All right. This material will be our picture, our screenshot. Before seeing the actual picture correctly, we need to do some small changes to it. So open up the material. Currently, you can see that we are having things. We have some settings here, but what you need to do is change the material domain here. If you select this, change the material domain to user interface. Blend mode should be masked. Okay. And the RGB, I'm just gonna drag it to the final color because this is the color. We're not gonna do any changes of it. I just want the ordinary color, but there is one small tweak we need to do here. This is the alpha channel. And by default, if we provide it, if we just reverse this like this, 1 minus, and then set it to opacity mask, see what happens. The entire background becomes, black. But what's really happening is that this black color will, by opacity mask, gets filtered out. Anything that is currently black here is really transparent now. Okay, and in order to prove that to you, there's a lot of math going on here, so it's really, I don't need to go into too much details of what's going on here, but if you reverse this and insert this into opacity mask, you will provide the opacity mask as an input of black color. Opacity mask has a tendency to, as far as my experience is, I'm no expert in materials, but as far as I know, if you provided black color like this, it will filter that black color out. So it will become transparent in this case. Okay, Anything that is black will become transparent. So let's see how it looks. I'm gonna close this down. We don't need to do anything more here. If you look here, my RTT text, this is the material we just created of that static texture. I'm gonna open this up, and I think we need to view it from here, but you can see from here that the background is transparent. If I just open this up, you can see it just shows black. So to see it, you can just look here directly. And we are going to use this in our HUD as well. So I'm going to do a folder here. I'm going to call it icons. And I'm going to move these two into icons. This is the texture of what camera is seeing, so I'm going to leave it here. But this is a static texture for that ball, so I'm going to rename these. RTT texture ball. I'm going to rename this to RTT material, Amazon material, and ball. But really, this is just a relevant texture, but really what we are going to use is this material you see here. This is our picture. So in order to show this picture, guess how to do that. If you want to, as a challenge, I want to give you this as a challenge. Use this picture in your HUD. So instead of showing, I'm going to show you, instead of showing retries, you can maybe show a picture instead. A picture of the ball with a number of 3 here, or a picture of the ball with an X and then the number 3. It's really up to you how you want to do this, but try to use this ball picture. It will look more nice and professional in the game rather than just, only having text. So pause the video and try to use this ball image material and see if you can make it look better. Okay, hopefully you gave this a try. Everything you just need to do is really just make some changes to the HUD. So let's do that. I'm gonna do that. So let's go to the HUD. It's in a widget folder because this is really just a widget container. It contains everything we are having. So you can see that this is the retries text. And I'm gonna drag out an image. And I'm gonna drag this to the right. Let's see if we can make this look good. And it's up to you how you want to tweak it. But this image, I'm gonna put this up here. I'm gonna make this big. It should be anchored to the top left. And in order to anchor something, you can just select the image, click this here, hold down Control and Shift and click here. Because I want to anchor it to the top left. And this way, it will also set the margin and everything for you and connect it to the top left. But I'm not going to have it exactly to the top left. I'm going to drag it down a little bit. And let's see if we can set the picture. So I'm going to go to the image section in Appearance and search for RTT. And here we go. We have the RTT material ball. And there you go. Doesn't it look great? Background is transparent and the ball is big because I took a big picture of it, very close one. And really, I don't think I'm gonna have it that big, but I'm gonna try to adjust it a little bit. Let's see if we can set that size to 150 and 150. And we are gonna have the text here. I'm gonna really set the text to X and then 3. I think this looks much better. So all we need to do whenever we get a less retry is just change this text here. This image is just there. We are not really changing it. So I'm going to rename it to ball image. Or maybe an underscore image. Yeah. And this for the score, I'm not really going to do anything about it. I didn't like the color though, so I'm going to change that. So let's set the color to, I don't know, maybe something green, something that's easier to see. And there you go. Let's just test and see how it looks. As you can see, still says retry 0. We have to change this in our code so it doesn't say retries. It should only say X and free. Also, I want to give this as a challenge to you. Try to change this text. The number should still be there, but everything else should just show X, and then after that should a number come. So retries free should show X free. That was just what I just showed you in the widget. So pause the video please and see if you can figure this one out yourself. Okay, hopefully you did well. This is done in our code, so we need to find that code wherever we are setting the retries text. So let's do that before we wrap up this video. So what I'm gonna do is go to the content drawer, blueprints. Let's see if I can find it. There's so much going on here. I'm gonna open up the controller. We need the HUD and everything else also, the game mode. I'm gonna open this as well. And we have the widget. I'm gonna see what's happening here. Okay, if you look at the widget here, we have something called update retries, and we have retries, reduce retries and increase retries. Really, we need to change the text there because this is really setting the text in our HUD. As you can see, we're doing a set text here, so I would say the challenge would be really easy if you found this code here in the file. So all I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna do this an X, and there you go, it counts. I'm gonna copy this, go to the other ones, Control A and Control V, and then I'm gonna do Control A and Control V. So now we are showing something different here. All right, I think these were the only places we need to make a change to. I'm gonna just test it out and see how it looks like. Yeah, that was really it. And I'm doing a print screen there with a number of 0, as you can see. I'm gonna remove that later on. I need to find where in our code I was doing that debug, but we can always remove that later on. And I think the score text is a little bit too big, but I'll leave that as a challenge to you to tweak this. So let's see what happens if I just fall down. If you remember, I'm having this fall down testing collision box here to test what happens if you fall down to reduce one retry. So I'm gonna just roll over it here to the right of the portal. It says two retries left, and if I continue, it says 1 retry left, and so on. So really, the updating of the text is really working just fine. So what we need to do now is we will still need to build our level, but we also need to handle having a menu. So we are going to have a menu, and when you click play, we are going to start the game. So I hope you learned something valuable here. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.